everyone. Welcome to another Classic Movie Monday, and today I'm going to be briefly addressing the film Hard Day's Night, or Hard Day's Night. Um, this film in particular touches upon the sort of life of the Beatles. So you have actual members of the band, technically all of the members of the band, within this film. And it sort of follows them around as they are sort of touring, and eventually they end up performing at one particular location. So really, there's not really a huge amount of real conflict or really um, plot as much as this is just a series of moments involving the Beatles. In this case, there may be certain aspects to the story to where there is an issue, like one of the performers, at one point they end up not being able to find, and it's getting very pressing because they have to perform at one point. But overall, it's kind of just designed to be sort of a look into the band and kind of how their sort of lives were like together as a band. And it really is impressive because the performers, in particular, in this case, the members of the Beatles, all do a really good job acting, at least, or I don't even know if necessarily they technically are acting. They're just kind of sort of being themselves, really. But they give off a very kind of genuine and good impression overall, and you sort of feel good throughout because they're kind of having a good time. They're really having a good time. They're just relaxing and enjoying their time on the road, and um, coming across various different people, and having to deal with the really crazy fangirl base that's out there running and wanting to uh, you know get their attention somehow. uh, and you also hear their music too, which is actually really well done, and very impressive. And you also sort of see the commentary onto sort of their significance as far as culture was concerned, at least around this period, and also how the band members themselves were fairly sort of rebellious and kind of wanted to sort of do their own thing, and didn't kind of really want to be constrained by anything. Um, and it really gives you a sort of real life insight, which oftentimes you don't really see in a lot of films, in particular even films that focus on a band. Usually a lot of the times films that really do hinge in on or at least hone in on a band, sort of do it in the form of a documentary where they'll kind of sit down and they'll talk with all the different members and they'll say what it was like and yada yada. You never really see it actually kind of played out before your eyes. And this is what this film sort of does. So if you are sort of a person who really enjoys the Beatles and sort of wants to kind of see that kind of level of perspective, you really do get that within this film, because this film, again, is not a documentary. It's literally all of the band members just kind of going about their life as this band. And it's very interesting to see, and although it tries to kind of create sort of a story centered around them, it feels very random at times, and you sort of see the very kind of funny moments, and the kind of crazy moments, and moments where they're designed to be a little bit more comedical in the British sense. So again, you'll sort of see the sort of British humor being inserted throughout as well. So it's very interesting, and one that I think a lot of people, at least throughout the time of the Beatles and afterwards, really remembered and really sort of took in, because again, it was these kinds of films are not necessarily focused on anymore, or don't really give you the same level of perspective as at least this film did. And even films nowadays that try to focus on these kinds of big pop stars that are at least current now, they really do try to kind of hone in on, sort of the whole life story and, try to make things a little bit way over dramatic and kind of give off this very fake impression. But here you really do see the genuineness of it. You see really the Beatles brand. You see the Beatles themselves as artists. You see the people that they were surrounded by. You see the whole atmosphere that was present around this period, and really how they sort of kind of created an impact and sort of generated this sort of crazy fan base. Um, and you really grow to sort of appreciate what they sort of really ended up providing to the people that enjoyed their music. Um, and again, this is something that you rarely see within a lot of films. And it's nice to really see it here. So if you're really interested in sort of seeing kind of what the Beatles were like, I think this is a perfect uh, film to really look into. And if you want to see a film that focuses on some musicians, then again, this is also another film that really, I think, touches upon it in a very clever and sort of down-to-earth way. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say, though, about this film without really giving too much away. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care.